from the fire department.
Thank you. On behalf of the McKinney Fire Department and the fire service in general the world over, I want to thank you for having this ceremony, and I want to thank this generation for choosing to remember the fallen of that day that took place over a decade ago. That morning, I was watching the events unfold live, and early on, as the news on every channel was covering that event, no one knew exactly what had taken place, myself included. I thought that someone had inadvertently, whether they knew how to fly a plane or not, had struck the World Trade Center. Then the second plane struck the tower, and then it was very clear that it was intentional events. And as those events unfolded, tensions grew, and then that moment came when the towers began to fall. At that moment, my wife was there with me, and I began to get emotional, and she didn't really understand why, but it was because I knew who was inside the building. That my brothers from the fire service were there in great numbers, obviously to help those that were in the tower and do what they could to save lives. And so I knew it was going to be a great loss of life when that took place. And that was a very sad day for our profession and for the Brotherhood. So I want to thank you for having the courage to remember those events and to remember the fallen. While it's important that we hold dear to the American ideals that we believe in so strongly, I think it is equally important that we never forget the sacrifice that those on that day paid. Over 300 firefighters lost their lives that morning in New York alone. And there were others in various roles of service, and they did so in efforts to save lives of those of the innocent. And so as we move forward, it's important that we remember that sacrifice and remember what that meant for our country and for what it meant for each and every one of us and for our children to come. Thank you again for holding this ceremony. Thank you for your commitment to America. And on behalf of the fire service, may we never forget.